Hello, welcome to this presentation, and today I'm going to show you the development and the cutting details for the 356 by 127 universal beam but castellated, and we'll get started right away. I'll go straight to applications and component right here. The last button here, you'll realize the moment you mouse over this last button here you'll be able to see the description on top here. Now let me just go ahead and click on it, and I'll go straight and look for the castellated beam macro that will help us in creating these or creating these settings for the castellated beam development and cutting details. Now I'll go straight and just type castellated, and I'll just double click right there. And what I'll do, just define the length from one point to the other, stretching to a length of 12 meters. Let me just terminate it somewhere here. Then just give it some time to process the information, and here we are, and it is exactly on the same position. And let me just double click on it once again and come to position and try to push it up or lift it up slightly on top of the grid line. So there it is. And if we zoom out, you'll be able to see it's actually on the grid line. Previously it was halfway up, halfway down. So if I double click here, you will be able to see the preset settings. So we'll use these ones to feed in our parameters to meet our customized size of castellated beam. Now in this case, I'll feed in the required parameters for the 356 by 127 beam size for the castellated beam. Now in this case, I'll target from this distance to this distance. I'll feed in 89. I'll feed in 89 right away. Here 89. I'll come here and feed 89. Let me just come here and feed 89. I'll feed there 89, and here I'll feed, this is the distance from this point to this point. I'll feed actually 103 right there, and I'll come down here and I'll feed 356 right there, and here I'll feed between the length, between the end points of these two flanges, which is the height, the flange height. This will be 354. I mean 554, 534. I mean 534, right there. And the flange width, this one will feed 127 right here. That's okay, and the rest will remain because we are just using the same beam size cut, and we cut all these profiles and join them together. So the thickness on the web remain the same, the thickness on the flanges remain the same, these radius remain the same. So what we are modifying and giving out is just the development and the cutting details for the castellated beam of this particular size. Now I'll go ahead and click modify and apply and accept by clicking OK. So we want to really confirm whether what we fed in has been reflected in here. So let me just click on empty screen, then right click and come to redraw to remove all those signs of modification. Then I'll double click once again to bring this dialog box. So in here I'll try to just counter check whether what I've just keyed in have been reflected on this model. Now I'll come to edit and come to measure right here and pick distance, and snap on that spot and snap to that end, and check down here whether it's 89 millimeter. Actually we have that from this end is 89 millimeter. We are not convinced yet. Let's counter check with the other section, and I'll snap on that midpoint and stretch all the way to the bottom end here and check whether it is 56. It's actually 356. That is what we really wanted to confirm. So we'll assume everything is correct, and then still we need to be convinced fully that everything is correct. Let me just snap on that spot and check the height of this beam, and I'll terminate it there. It's actually 354, 534 actually. It's okay. Now what I'll do once again is just to cut this beam across, just to place the welding line across the connection of the two beams cut and joined at the middle point right there. Now what I'm going to do, I'll just close this because it's obstructing my navigation to the model. Now I'll come to edit, I'll come to points here and pick at any location or at any point, then snap on that spot. I don't really need to snap on that spot because I'll snap there by default because this is the middle point. So if you mouse over there, you'll be able to see it'll take you right there even if you have the point in place. Now I'll snap on that point and move all the way down here and snap right there. So I would like to pick this point. I would like to transfer this point to the far end. I'll select on it and come to copy and snap right there. Then move all the way to the other end. Move all the way to the other end, and I'll snap right there. So I'll come to edit right here and pick on the polygon cut, and I can start from any point after selecting the part to be cut. I intend to cut this part. Then I'll select on it. Then I'll start my polygon. Then I'll snap right at that center. Then move all the way to this far end, and I'll snap right here. Then move down and snap on that location and target my far end starting point to close down at the polygon. So the moment you close down that polygon, everything you intend to cut out will be trimmed off. So we'll just click and right click and come to redraw to remove everything, and we can further go and save this so that when the power goes off, we don't lose everything. Now now I'll come here and select on this, then right click and come to special copy here and pick linear. Then I'll use the z-axis to copy this slightly up by a meter up. Then come to copy and click copy up. There it is, we have it up, and we can right click and redraw, and we can select this. And prior to doing that, we can come to view here and reorient our work plane tool, select on that, and I'll snap right there. I'll select on this once again and come to the special move and click rotate, and I'll rotate this along these 2 points, along this line that will be defined by these 2 points. So I'll select the line option here. So I'll define the two points that will create the rotation line, that point and that point. So this model will rotate about this line here along this point. So you'll realize the moment I click the move command, the move button, everything will be turned upside down, and this is the position we actually want this model to be on. Now I'll right click once again and come to move and pick on this model from that spot and move it straight to the bottom end here and join it together. Then I'll click on empty screen, then right click and redraw that. Then we have this model, and this has been cut into 2. So this is how it looks. So what we want to do is quite simple, is just to copy this. Select on this, right click and come to special copy and pick linear, and we just need a copy of this that shows the development of this castellated beam, just one piece. And what we are going to do, we just copy this in a different direction, either in our direction pointing the Z, or we can reduce the length to maybe 600 millimeter. We can just leave it at a meter there, and then we'll click copy, we'll click OK. There we are, and we have that in place, and that's how it looks. And you can slightly select on it and slightly drag it up so that it looks slightly much better. You can give it 600 offset right there, going up the y-axis. In this case it's y-axis because we reoriented our xyz axis, so by default z-axis is not pointing up. It's now the turn for the y to face up. Now I'll go ahead and click y, okay, and I'll click on empty screen and redraw so that we remove those signs of cuts If I turn like this, you can see everything in place. So what I'll do, it's quite simple. I'll just double click on it, and this dialog box will come up, and this contains the details and the cutting details and the development details of this particular beam size of the castellated beam. Feel free to pick these details if you intend to use them, because they are standards. They are standard and they're being used currently. Now, thanks a lot for watching this video, and if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, and let's meet then on the next presentation. I'm Morris Dimba, and bye bye.